I organized a surprise party for my husband's promotion. His family showed up, told everyone I wasn't invited, and deleted my name from the cake. I stood in the back watching, then pulled out a microphone because I'm not even sure why I'm writing this. Maybe just to get it out. I still don't fully believe it happened, but I need people to know what they did. My name is Dana. I live in Sacramento. My husband, Marcus, and I had been married for 8 years when this happened. He'd just gotten promoted at his company, finally became regional director after grinding for years. I was proud of him. Proud in a way that made me want to do something big, not because I had to, but because I wanted to celebrate what we'd built together. So, I started planning a surprise party. I didn't tell him, obviously. I reached out to his coworkers, his friends from college, even a couple people from his bowling league. I booked a private room at this restaurant he loves near Midtown. It wasn't cheap. I put it on my own card because I wanted it to come from me. I made a slideshow using photos from his career, old uniforms, goofy office parties, a clip from when he got recognized at a company retreat. I even recorded a short video from his old mentor, who retired 2 years ago. I ordered a custom cake with his company's logo and the words, "Congratulations, Marcus. With love, Dana." That was important to me. I wanted people to know how much I believed in him. The guest list was around 45 people. I included his family, even though I've never been close to them. His mom, Rita, always looked down on me. She's one of those women who thinks no one's ever good enough for her son. His sister Joy was worse, smug, controlling, and never missed a chance to put me in my place. Still, I invited them. I didn't want to be petty. I wanted this to be a good memory. The party was set for Saturday at 7 p.m. I got there around 6:50, dressed nice, carrying a backup USB of the slideshow. That's when I saw Joy standing outside the room talking to the restaurant manager. I thought she was maybe just helping greet people, which would have been a surprise. But when she turned and saw me, her face changed. She said, "Oh, you're here?" Like I'd shown up at the wrong event. I said, "Of course I'm here. I planned this." Then she said something that made my blood run cold. Well, not anymore. Before I could even answer, Rita came over, acting all calm and fake sweet. "Dana, I think it's best you leave. This is a family event. You'll make people uncomfortable." I laughed, thinking it was a joke. I planned this whole thing. I paid for it. I made the slideshow. "What are you talking about?" Joy looked me dead in the eyes and said, "No one wants drama tonight." I pushed past them and went into the room, and it hit me like a punch. They had moved everything around. They took down the table cards I had made. The place card said, "Hosted by the Anderson family," Marcus's last name. The banner I ordered was missing. The cake they had scraped off with "Love, Dana." Literally carved my name off. I saw the smudges. It just said, "Congratulations, Marcus." I was in shock. His coworkers and friends were there already, drinking, chatting, and a few looked confused when they saw me. One came up and said, "Wait, didn't you say you planned this?" I just nodded. I couldn't even speak. Then Marcus walked in. He looked happy. Hugged his mom.
Kissed Joy on the cheek. Didn't even look for me.
Didn't ask where I was. I stood in the back, near the wall. He made a little speech thanking everyone who made this happen, and specifically said, "Thanks to my family for organizing all of this." That was when I knew.
He was in on it.
He had to be. And in that moment, everything inside me cracked open. I reached into my purse, pulled out the small wireless mic I had brought for the slideshow introduction. It connected to the room's speaker system. I turned it on, walked up to the front, and said, "Since we're thanking people, maybe we should be honest about who actually threw this party." When I said that into the mic, the room fell silent.
You could hear forks hit plates. Some people looked confused.
A few froze. Marcus just stood there like he couldn't believe I was speaking. I kept going. I booked this restaurant. I paid the deposit. I sent the invitations. I ordered the cake, yes, the one you all saw, the one with my name scratched off. A few heads turned toward the cake table. I made the slideshow that's sitting on that laptop over there. I called his old mentor to record a message. I did all of that. But somehow, his family decided to erase me from my own husband's celebration. And he let them. That last line? That landed. Rita's face turned red. Joy looked like she was about to throw something. Marcus stepped forward and said, "Dana, let's talk outside." I said, "No. Let's talk here." Since everyone else already had their little performance. A woman from his office, I think her name's Kendra, stood up and said, "Wait, so you planned this whole thing?" I nodded. "Then why did they say they hosted it?" "Because," I said, pointing toward Joy and Rita, "they wanted the credit. They didn't want me to have anything to do with it." And Marcus didn't stop them. Rita snapped, "Don't make a scene. This is not the time." I turned to her. "You made the scene the moment you decided to erase me." Marcus raised his voice. "Dana, you're embarrassing yourself." That hurt more than I expected. Embarrassing myself? For speaking up? So I stared straight at him. "I gave you 12 years. I moved for your job twice. I watched your mother treat me like a stranger in my own house. I stayed quiet when Joy threw passive-aggressive jabs at every holiday dinner. But I didn't say anything. Because I thought, in the end, you had my back. I thought we were a team. And now you let them rewrite this whole night like I never existed." People started murmuring. Some guests quietly picked up their coats. A few left, but a few stayed frozen, waiting. I looked at Joy. "Did you seriously carve my name off the cake?" She didn't answer, just smirked. I said, "Was that your idea of being classy? Or just mean?" Rita tried to grab the mic. I pulled it back.
"No. You don't get to silence me."
"Not this time." Then Marcus did something that sealed it for me. He looked around the room, and instead of defending me, instead of telling the truth, he said, "Let's just enjoy the night. It's not a big deal." Not a big deal. That's when I knew. I wasn't just unwanted. I was inconvenient. So I turned back to the guests. "I'm not going to fight anymore. I just wanted you to know the truth. You can believe whatever you want. But after tonight, I won't be standing behind him anymore." I dropped the mic literally. Walked out without looking back. I thought that would be it. That I'd walk out, file for divorce, and be done with the whole mess. But of course, it wasn't over. 2 days later, I got a text from Marcus. No apology. Just, "We need to talk. You owe my mom an apology for what happened." I stared at the screen for a long time. An apology? That same day, I got a call from the restaurant manager. He was polite but said he needed to confirm some discrepancies. Turns out, Joy had called the restaurant the morning of the party and claimed the reservation was a mistake, that it was actually her booking and that my name shouldn't be listed. She even tried to get my card removed from the invoice. She told them I was just a friend of the family who'd gotten confused. Thankfully, the manager still had the email trail. My email. My payment confirmation. My instructions. He sent me copies of everything. That's when I realized this wasn't just petty sabotage. It was calculated. They had planned to erase me days in advance. Not just from the party, from Marcus's public life. And then the bigger twist landed. A friend of mine who works at the same company as Marcus called me quietly and said, "Dana, are you guys okay?" I heard a weird rumor. Apparently, Joy had told a few people that Marcus and I were separating, and that I was emotionally unstable. She said I had tried to crash the party and ruin his career celebration out of jealousy. I was stunned. They were already spinning a narrative behind my back. And Marcus?
He wasn't stopping them.
He wasn't just staying silent, he was going along with it. Telling coworkers we were figuring things out. That I wasn't handling things well. I realized something then. This wasn't just about one night. It was about erasing me from his entire story. From the man I helped build. And he didn't care. He was letting them do it. That's when something in me snapped, not in a chaotic way, but in a cold, focused way. If they wanted to pretend I was invisible, they were going to find out exactly how visible I could be. Because what none of them seemed to understand was this. I had receipts. Every email. Every planning detail. Photos. Text messages. And even worse for them, I had access to things they probably forgot I had, including Marcus's tax files, business expenses, and a few off-the-books, things he never cleaned up properly from a past promotion. And I wasn't planning to go quietly anymore. I didn't respond to Marcus's text. I didn't scream, or confront, or beg. That's what they expected me to do. Act emotional, unstable, give them more proof for their story. Instead, I got quiet, focused. First thing I did was lock down our shared financial accounts. I had the legal right, my name was on everything. I moved half the funds from our joint savings into an account under my name. I started tracking all our shared assets. The house, the vehicles, the investments. Marcus never paid attention to that stuff. I always handled the taxes, the insurance, the paperwork. He liked playing the big man, but I did the real work. And I had copies of everything. Then I backed up every file from my laptop and phone, emails, texts, receipts, screenshots. I created a folder. Promotion Party Truth. I included photos of the original cake order with my full message, the printed menus that had my name on them, the slideshow I made, the guest list I sent out. I even had the invoice from the restaurant that Joy tried to dispute. But that wasn't all. While digging through the files, I remembered something important. Marcus had used our shared PayPal to buy things for work that weren't exactly clean. He'd submitted them as expense claims under a different category. Technically, it could be seen as business fraud. Small at first, gift cards for clients, restaurant tabs where no clients were actually present, but over time, the amounts grew. And I had records of those too. Then came the social side. I started calling people one by one, coworkers, friends, old neighbors. Calmly, not bitter. I told them the real story, without exaggeration. I told them what happened the night of the party. I showed proof. You could hear the discomfort in their voices. Most of them had no idea. A few apologized. Some were shocked. Some stayed quiet, which told me enough. But every time I hung up, I knew the story was spreading. The real one. I even found out something else during those calls. That Joy had already introduced Marcus to someone new. A woman from her gym. She was telling people they had great chemistry and that it might be good for him to start fresh. And Marcus? He wasn't denying it, just saying we were separating. He was replacing me, in every way, rewriting the script, planning to walk into this next chapter with a clean slate, a shiny promotion, and a new girl on his arm. They thought I'd stay quiet, that I'd disappear, humiliated. But I wasn't planning to disappear. I was going to let them walk right into the life they thought they wanted, then turn every light on. I waited 2 more weeks. I wanted to be smart, not petty. I wanted the damage to last. I hired a lawyer. Not just any lawyer. A woman who specialized in high-asset divorces and had taken down bigger men than Marcus. I gave her everything. She was stunned by how organized I was. I laid out the timeline, the evidence, the financials, and even the possible fraud. She nodded slowly and said, "If he wants war, he's going to regret it." The divorce papers were served at his office. In front of his assistant. In front of a few coworkers. My lawyer made sure of it. There was no hiding it now. But that was just the beginning. I filed a formal complaint to his company's HR and compliance department. Attached were receipts of the falsified expenses, timestamp screenshots, and an explanation of how the purchases were classified incorrectly. I didn't exaggerate anything. I just told the truth. Cold and clean. It was enough to trigger an internal audit. Within a week, Marcus was placed on administrative leave. Joy tried to spin it, of course. She told people it was just a misunderstanding. That it was a bitter ex-wife lashing out. But her voice didn't carry the way it used to. Too many people had seen what happened. Too many had heard my side. And unlike them, I had proof. I posted the full story online. Not under my real name, but in a local forum where some of Marcus's coworkers hung out. I shared the timeline, the party betrayal, the cake, the texts, the gaslighting. I attached photos, blurred faces, but the story was unmistakable. People connected the dots. The comments were brutal. Not for me, for them. People said they'd never seen something so cruel, so calculated. Word got around.
Fast.
His reputation tanked. Within a month, Marcus was fired. Not with cause, so no criminal charges, but no severance either. The job he spent 12 years chasing vanished overnight. And the cherry on top? I got the house. His name was never added to the deed after we refinanced 2 years earlier, and the lawyer made sure that fact mattered. Joy blocked me. Rita tried to call once. Left a voicemail saying, "You've made your point. Let it go." I saved it just in case. As for the new girlfriend, she dumped him a few days after he lost the job. Apparently, she wasn't up for helping him start fresh anymore. In the final settlement, I got 60% of the assets, plus alimony. Turns out, when you help build someone's career and they cheat you out of credit, the court sees that as partnership labor. And the judge didn't like him much either, especially after reading the party story, which my lawyer submitted as character evidence. The last time I saw Marcus was in court. He looked smaller, tired. He tried to avoid eye contact. I didn't say a word. I didn't need to. He made his choices. He erased me. So I erased the version of himself he built on my back. Now I live in that same house, but it feels different. Lighter. I took the room where I built the slideshow, the one he never watched, and turned it into a studio for myself. I don't plan parties anymore, but I do make sure people never forget who I am and what I'm capable of when they try to erase me.